So I've been playing Skate, and I'm conflicted. I think it might be the most conflicted I've ever been with any game I've ever played. You know, playing Skate has made me understand what it must be like to be a woman who really enjoys Chris Brown's music. Because, like, I know that it's kind of cheap and tacky, and it's using, like, my basic primal instincts to try and, like, get money out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that the name behind the creation is absolutely awful, and I hope goes to jail for a very, very, very long time. But saying all that, I can't stop playing this shit. I like to do this thing, right, that you might do as well, where I like to go online and I like to read people's opinions for some fucking reason. And Skate is polarising to say the least. It's either one of two things. I'm really enjoying this game. It's so much fun. I don't know why everyone's complaining. I think it's great. If you don't like something, don't play it, because I'm having a great time. And then on the other side of that argument, you have, I hate this game. I hate everything it stands for. I hate the people that play it. This game sucks. It's ruining the franchise of Skate. It's ruining gaming as a whole. And if you play it, you're part of the fucking problem. You know? And I think it can be both. This game is both the best skateboarding game that I've ever played, and at the very same time, it's the worst skateboarding game that I've ever played. I just want to start off by saying that the Skate franchise itself means a hell of a lot to me. I love these games. When the OG Skate came out, it was like a time when I was a little kid who had dreams of being a skateboarder, but I really sucked ass at skateboarding, and I was a little pussy. And then Skate came along, and I didn't have to pretend to try and make Tony Hawk's realistic anymore. I could actually kind of simulate the type of skateboarding that I wanted to do, and I could role play the journey of starting out as a skateboarder and then becoming professional and getting sponsored and all that good stuff, all while sitting in my house wearing my Sheckler 2s like the little poser that I am. And then they made 3 amazing Skate games, and then they disappeared off the face of the earth, and we all went, guys, come back. Other games came and they filled a bit of the void, you know, like games like Session I've made videos on, and I still to this day think is the closest you can get to replicating the feeling of skateboarding itself using a controller. But as much as I love these games, and I think they're great, they just aren't Skate, you know? But then we got some news. We got told Skate was back, and we all got very fucking excited. We all got a bit too excited. And then EA was like, oh, by the way, free to play always online.
That's why the next Skate game would be a free-to-play title.
And I think most of us, when we heard that news, got a bit of a shudder down our spines. You know, like, oh, I didn't like that. Because, you know, EA has a bit of a track record, a bit of a portfolio, if you will, of being fucking awful. And literally, as of the other day, they've broke the world record. Hall of Famers for the worst company to ever exist. Thanks, EA. Give them a round of applause. Good job. EA, yeah, it stands for EAs. Got 'em. But you know, I was trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to have an open mind, you know, because at the end of the day, a Skate game that's online, that sounds kind of sick, actually. That sounds like something that could be fun, you know? And also the free-to-play model, as much as it's not something I would have chosen, it means that a lot of people that would have never given Skate a chance or didn't have the means beforehand to actually try it can get in and skate. You know, I'm all for that. Inclusivity. Let's let everyone have a wee skate. That's good. And at the same time, I'm also just morbidly curious about anything EA makes, because it's EA. So in the run-up to this game, they did playtesting, which you could apply and join in and have a go. I applied in June 2023, and I finally got into a playtest in July 2025. You know, 761 days after I'd applied. Who's counting though? So I've been playing a lot of Skate recently, and I've been watching a lot of Skate content, and it's a bit of a meh. So let's talk about playing Skate. The gameplay overall, it is so goddamn good. Oh my god, it is so good. It is buttery as fuck, like butter on a toasted bagel. It just melts. Slow flicks, reverts, slappies. Everything feels good to do. The game has this flow that other skateboarding games I've played just doesn't have. Like, as much as I love Session with all my heart, that game is much more technical and much more thoughtful. Like, you really have to come up to a spot and think, right, what am I going to do in this? You can't just flow through spot to spot, trick to trick as seamlessly as this game. And it balances both sides of that really well. Like, you can sit at a spot, like a basic ledge, and work on specific tricks and try to get the smoothest, cleanest, most realistic line in Skate. And then you can also just climb up a building and do an infinite kickflip off the side of it. Why not? I think it's the most well-balanced skateboarding game ever made, and the perfect balance of a skate sim and an arcadey skateboarding game. Some of the folks online refer to that as a simcade. For the love of God, guys, can you just go outside and talk to like a real person for once in your life? It's funny because the gameplay of this game feels like devs worked really hard on making something really, really good. You know, it's amazing. The thing that EA can't get their grubby wee fingers on, and it's really good. What's that about? The thing that they let the team fucking do is good. Shocking, EA. Absolutely shocking. It's almost like you should just let people make games instead of getting involved. Wow. Wow. Yeah, the game just has a flow to it that I've never had in any other skateboarding game. But you know, it's not perfect. We're still missing a bunch of tricks that were in the other games. And like, there's like just bits of jank that need like kind of fixed out. Like, you still turn weird on the board. Momentum's straight. Sometimes you'll just hit a ramp and gain so much speed, and other times you'll just lose all these things that can get fixed. But at the same time, I do just find it funny that we're missing features and there's so much jank when this game's been in 5 years of development. 5 years. And then also there was 3 games before it. This isn't brand new, you know? I get you probably had to rebuild a lot of stuff, but come on, 5 years. But yeah, overall, the gameplay experience is amazing and it lets you skate and however you want to skate. And as I said, at the end of the day, isn't that what skateboarding's all about? But this isn't skateboarding. This is a game. And I've been thinking about it a lot because a lot of people are saying, well, if it's fun to play, what do you care? As long as that's fun, right? That's all that matters. And to like a degree, yeah. But like, imagine you took a game like Dark Souls, where I love the combat of Dark Souls, yanked everything out of that game other than the combat. Just take everything out that makes that game feel like a whole thing and just have you fighting random guys over and over. I wouldn't be very good with it. That's a tech demo. That's what Skate is. It's a tech demo. Because I'm not lying when I say that every other aspect of this game, and I mean every other aspect, is rough. Right, so let's talk about the story of Skate. And I'm doing that when I say story because there isn't a story. Welcome to San Van Amsterdam. This city used to be ran by a mega corporation called Megacorp. Stellar writing, guys. And they hated skateboarding. Boo. Fuck you, skateboarding, they said. We hate you. Boo. But then Megacorp vanished. They disappeared for some obscure reason that I've not read up about and I don't care to know. And now, San Van Amsterdam is a skating haven. It's a utopia for skateboarders. Woohoo. Come here and skate. This is saving skateboarding. So yeah, this is the premise of a free-to-play, always online, microtransaction game where the actual skateboarding part of it has been diluted and homogenized by the corporate overlords that run the game to make as much money as possible. Was no one in the fucking meeting? I'm just baffled by the lack of self-awareness. Like, surely they're fucking with us. Surely they're taking the piss. They're having a laugh. They're sat in their board meetings wearing their freshly opened half cabs and they're fucking with us, right? I know it's like a meme to hate on EA because they're so bad, but like at this point it's like, are you, like, what is going on? You're actively taking the piss at this point. So if you played the OG Skate games, you'll know that there was a cameraman following you, and that's why the game looked like that, because it was to replicate the aesthetic of a skateboarding video. So there was a character, Reda, who was filming you the whole time, and he would make little quips, and he would talk about things you should do in the game. He was kind of like your sidekick, but you just didn't really know he was there. He was the camera. It was great. It was authentic to what skateboarding felt like. And what have they replaced that with, you ask? Well, now, instead of that, it's a fucking AI robot.
Not sure what you were doing, but I hope you washed your hands.
AI is bullshit. Fuck AI.
Just throw me off a roof. Just straight off a roof. Kill me right now. Because in the game at the moment, there's not a single current motivator other than to get V-Bucks. Sorry, rip chips. Yeah, we'll get to that, I promise. So the premise of the game alone is already a massive downgrade from what we used to get in the other games. Now, I'm not saying the first 3 Skate games were Oscar-worthy winning films, you know? But it was simple. It was like, become a professional skateboarder, start a brand, do things that skateboarders do. And I was like, yeah, I'm happy to be doing this because I'm playing a game about skateboarding. I want to be doing skateboarding-y things. Skateboarding-y. Every single character you come across sounds like, I don't know, they're on an episode of Undercover Boss for skateboarding. Hey there, my fellow skaters with a Z. Are you ready to shred?
Skater eyes employed. Bench grinding verified.
I generally would have much preferred some half-baked stupid story that they'd put in the game about, like, I don't know, like social media and being online. You know, like having to like gain followers like a lot of games do, where like, oh, the whole point is to gain loads of followers on like the fake version of Twitter. But even in a dumb idea like that, that would use the community aspect of the game of being always online. You know, you could set up like, I don't know, challenges and specific tricks, and other people could try them and then leave likes and that would go to your profile. Or you could like edit skate videos, you know, using the editor that it's still not fucking finished. And you could make skate edits that people could vote on, and that would upgrade your likes and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, get like the 9 Club involved. You could get rid of all these awful AI sounding characters. Get the 9 Club to do the commentary of the game and kind of take you through the story like you're listening to a podcast or something. I don't know, at least that would fit into the culture a wee bit. Just do something that makes sense. I don't understand why it's so hard. Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts, or like the bearings in the trucks or something of the matter. And that's cosmetic, because this is a free-to-play game. So the only way they're going to make money is cosmetic items. And the cosmetic system in this game is painfully bad. Like, it makes me so annoyed. So say you're playing this game and you don't want to spend actual money, but you want to look cool, because that's a big part of skateboarding, and you want a cool pair of trousers. There's 3 stores at the moment in the game. Each district has a different store, and each store is comprised of loot boxes. Each one of them has like a set amount of loot boxes, and each one of them you can look what's in them. Each one of them will have like 10, 11 items. Most of the items are dog shit, like stickers. I'm a grown man, what am I going to do with a sticker? But every one of them will have like one nice item, like a pair of trousers or a shirt or something you want. What you have to do is you have to go out in the world and collect your rip chips by doing really boring challenges over and over, and then you save up your money, and then you come in and you spam these loot boxes over and over until eventually, after you've wasted all your money, the low drop rate, you will get the thing that you wanted, the unbranded pair of trousers that you really want. But the thing is, a lot of these loot boxes are shut, so you have to follow the kind of main story kind of aspect of the game, which is a giant tutorial, which you just do the tutorial based things. It's like, hey, do you know about the skate editor? Use it here, go over here, do that thing again. So essentially you just have to go out into the world and do these boring repetitive challenges to get small amounts of rip chip, to come back to the shops and gamble that away to get the specific thing you want. And it's designed this way because it wants you to waste as much time as possible and get frustrated and not want to do that, so that you'll eventually just be like, you know what, fuck it, I could just pay a couple of pounds for the thing I like in the shop that's better than the free one. I could just do that. It's not much money. And the reason this annoys me so much is because skateboarding, a huge aspect of skateboarding is your style and the way you carry yourself and what you wear and your kind of overall aesthetic. And they know that. And that's why they've made that part of the game monetizable, because then it gives people an incentive to buy things because they want to express themselves and they want to look the way they look in real life while they skate in this game. And it's especially predatory towards kids, you know, that come onto this game to play with their friends. Oh, but all my friends have the brand new Nike Dunks, I want a pair of them. And then they end up having to pay for things that they shouldn't. Also, I'm like, I want to film some clips for a wee skate vid. Oh wait, let me go and have to put on different outfits from my very small wardrobe of shitty unbranded clothes. Shall I wear my plain white t-shirt or my plain orange t-shirt? Because I'm sure, like a lot of people, I refuse to pay like £9 for a pair of shoes in a game. What are you smoking? And if you're one of these people that's like, it's just a one-time thing for the one thing you like, that's how it starts. That's how they get you. And then before you know it, you've spent more than you would for a game to have like one full outfit. I hate everything about it. So let's talk about challenges. What do you do in Skate? What do you do? So as I've said, the main quest in the game, the one you mainly follow, is just tutorials about every aspect of the game. You know, it takes you through each district of the map and then we'll show you different things you can do in the game. And you'll have to do like each thing like multiple times so your wee dum-dum brain soaks it up. And then outside of that, the game is made up of smaller challenges that will reward you with your rip chip. And I swear that every time I say the word rip chips, I want to cause violence to someone. And these challenges, they are like, skate this line, collect all the bearings while doing like, make sure you do 180 while you're doing it. Oh, get a certain number of points here. Fall off this building and land directly into this one dumpster. And there's so many game modes from previous games that we don't have. You know, like hill bomb races, hall of meat, photo shoots, replicating a specific trick on a specific thing to get a photo. A game of goddamn Skate. That's right, the game Skate, you can't play Skate. What is the point? What was the point in bringing this out without Skate? I don't understand. It's online. The whole point is playing with people. Because you know, the games that are adored and loved and respected by people are the ones that respect the player's time. They realise that you have to match the effort with the reward and make people feel like what they're doing is worthwhile. And this is designed to be the exact opposite of that. It's designed specifically to waste your time. But guys, as you know, while playing this game, you can do an emote while you're flying through the air. Oh my god, I love this game. It's so much fun. It's crazy. Thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. I'm such a dick. I'm sorry. I want want to explain. Right, here's the thing about skate content creators that kind of gives me the ick, I guess. So on the build up to the game coming out, a bunch of content creators were given early access to the game and were allowed to start making videos on it without breaking the embargo or the NDA or whatever. And obviously they were all glazing it. Everyone was like, this game's so much fun, thanks EA, whoa. Like, this one guy cried. This one dude was playing this tutorial and he was tearing up. You know, skate means a lot to this guy. I cried for a completely different reason.
Oh. This is happening.
And like, don't get me wrong, it makes sense. I get it. It makes perfect sense. Like, you aren't going to get PR packages from EA. You aren't going to get, like, I don't know, flown out or whatever if you come in a video and be like, EA stands for EAs. You know, as is true and also very funny as that is. But the thing I find frustrating about content creators that are making videos about skate is, like, if you have a channel that's all about skateboarding games and then EA comes along with Skate, which is going to be the biggest skateboarding game for years to come, you're going to have to make videos on it. You know, it's an audience puller. You have to make videos. But you can't really keep making negative videos about it, you know? Like, if you start just making videos calling out the issues with the game, that audience that play it and don't really give a shit aren't going to watch. So you end up just having to keep making videos about skate where you're just kind of promoting the game and talking about how fun it is and showing like the good aspects of the game. And you're doing that constantly because you're trying to bring in more people to watch the videos. I get it. But you essentially become an advertisement for the game. And you become an advertiser that can't be overly negative too often, otherwise people are going to get fed up. That new audience that you're gaining through playing skate is probably going to get tired of you if you just keep calling them out. And what happens to these creators is they become so dependent on skate that they're willing to keep playing it and keep making videos on it, even when there's nothing to talk about. So EA ends up getting free advertisement for a game that they don't feel like they need to change anything about because, you know, they're constantly getting new people coming in. Does what I'm saying make sense? I'm not saying it's the creator's fault. I'm not saying it's these people's fault. You know, I watch these guys. I watch a bunch of these creators. And to be fair to them, a bunch of them have made videos being negative about the game and talking about its flaws. But it's very few and far in between. You know, it feels like they'll make one video being like, here's the issues with skate. And then the next day they're like, so, skate's fun, isn't it? Let's do some fun stuff. And it just kind of gets swept under the rug because they have to keep making videos. And because the creators become dependent on skate, they want skate to do well, so they're just going to talk about the positive aspects because that's what works. It's like this double-edged sword and it just kind of bugs me. You know, it feels transactional is what I'm trying to say. I know no one's getting paid to play, but like in an essence, in a way, they are. You know, it feels like you scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. I've pointed the wrong way there. Does what I'm saying make sense? I'm really not trying to be a dick. I love these creators, I watch them, but that's how I feel about them. And I feel like that happens with any game that has this business model, like FIFA, UFC, pretty much any game made by EA actually. That's just kind of what happens. And it bugs me, and it upsets me, and it makes me feel a bit icky. Probably not that fucking deep. I'm sorry. It's probably not that deep. Sorry. Now, the funniest change that happened throughout the playtesting of this game is when EA announced Skate and showed the first bit of gameplay, it was shown looking like this. And everyone's like, hey, that looks sick. That looks like Skate. And then while the playtests were going, everyone was playing as these like fucking test dummy ass people, so you didn't really see what the art style was. Everything was blocked out textures. And then when the final playtest came out, we saw what the game was going to look like. People are calling this Fortnite or Skatenite. I think that's a bit generous because I don't think it even looks as good as Fortnite. Like, at least Fortnite has some lighting to it. Because it looks awful. It looks objectively bad. I wouldn't mind the cartoony art style as long as they, like, you know, there was some artistic merit to it. Even if you did the overdone, like, Spider-Verse kind of effect at this point, like, anything is better than that. Like, have a colour palette at least. It's so bland. There's games in Roblox that look better than this, guys. And people are like, oh, they're saying that they're going to keep progressing, they're going to update it. If they change this back to what they originally showed, I will eat this microphone. It's no happening. They've done this art style obviously because this will play on any system. This is easy to render for any system, any console. Mobile, you can play this, you know? That's going to get as many people in playing it as possible that they can then get to the store. EA, you guys are actual marketing geniuses. And then we have the map of San Van Amsterdam, which is also completely lifeless. It's hard to describe. It's kind of uncanny when you play it. It's just, it's lacking any form of personality. It's amazing how bright this game can be, but feels so dull. I don't think this art style in the early development is helping with the map because it makes everything look as bland bland as possible. In the old games, every district had like a certain feeling. The lighting would change, the textures were all different, like it felt like its own specific place, and each one you could tell when you went to a new one. Everything in this game merges into the same. I couldn't tell you if you dropped me in the map. I know now from playing it which districts it's in, but at the start, if you dropped me in any part, I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, this is the business area. You know, I wouldn't have fucking known. At least the old games had like an aesthetic. They had like a feeling to each place. Talking about the map, I don't really vibe with the whole skate utopia thing, because it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of dumb. Like, I know that skateboarding is mainstream now, like it's in the Olympics, but at the same time, like, skateboarders are still not seen as like this great thing. Like, if you want to get clips and make a skate video, you're still having to battle security and battle like the general public looking at you as a nuisance. No old person in the street sees skateboards and goes, fucking great, love to see kids participating in sports. And that was a fun part of the old games, where there were certain areas in the maps where there was security and you weren't allowed to skate. So if you wanted to get a trick in a specific bit, you had to go in and do it as quickly as possible, and it added pressure, and it was this fun little gameplay moment, you know? And it felt authentic to what skateboarding is. And then they've got this whole parkour system in the game where it's like, guys, you could lock away cool spots. You have to do some sort of jumping puzzle to unlock a gate or something like that, or turn off a security camera to get into a cool spot, or you could have it like at certain times of the day security go out so you can climb the fence and skate there. You know what I mean? But that would need like a day and night cycle, which we still don't have. I don't know, that would take effort, I guess, and what the fuck's the point in that? Is it making us any money? Why fucking bother? Instead, the parkour system literally comes down to, you see that building over there? If you go and climb that right now, there's the biggest ramp you've ever seen on top of it. Why? Who cares? It's a skate game. Go climb there and jump a ramp. Do a fucking hop shove it. It's also just the map is missing like any form of iconic area. Like, everything just looks kind of similar. There's not even a school area in a skateboarding game. Unheard of. I need a school area because I'm a registered shredophile. A lot of people have been voicing the concern that there's no skate culture in the game. And for me, that was probably the biggest slap in the face when I saw all the stuff about this game and started playing it. Because the Skate series was so cool to me when I was younger. Because you had Tony Hawk, and obviously Tony Hawk had all the big boys. You know, you had Tony Hawk, you had like Nigel Houston, Ryan Sheckler, Bam Margera, all these big names in entertainment and skateboarding. And then Skate came along, and suddenly I'm seeing people like Chris Cole in a game, you know, Jerry Sue, Terry Kennett, that's probably a really bad example, some other guy. And then Jason Lee came along and I was geeked up, man. The game's whole appeal was that it was like in the skate culture, and it felt like if you played the games and you knew about skateboarding, there was like references that you would get, and it made the game stand out compared to every other skateboarding game before it, and it gave it its own identity. And now we have this. Like, there's not even any pro skaters in the game. What? Like, imagine some of the cool challenges you could have in this game if you got skateboarders that were big and relevant today. Like, imagine some of the cool challenges they could come up with if they got like Andy Anderson involved. You know? It just feels like EA have kind of went out of their way to kind of diminish the whole skateboarding culture side of the games and just kind of nudge them to the side and pretend they don't exist. Take away any form of grit that the games had. And all the promo leading up to the game was all about like the culture, and they were getting real skateboarders and skateboarding content creators involved in the kind of run up to the game to make sure that it was authentic to the skate culture. They even made like a council of these people that were going to help make the game go in the right direction. But what was the fucking point of that? Because none of it was ever listened to. It just feels like more PR bullshit. What Skate used to feel like to me, hear me out, it was like the cool older brother of skateboarding games, where it was like, hey, you want to see some cool shit? Come this way. Now stay with me with this metaphor, because this is the only way I can describe it, but this new version of Skate is the same feeling I get if I was to walk into like a supermarket and I see a magazine with like a kid's YouTube channel on it that has their like own magazine now. You know that feeling? That's what this Skate game gives me. It gives me that feeling where I'm like, oh, you know? There's a lot of cool things about having a skateboarding game that's always online. Don't get me wrong. The whole community aspect of it is really cool. To be skateboarding and to be around other people that are skateboarding at the same time. That never gets old. Having these cool experiences of skating with other people. The community skate parks are a really cool idea. The fact that the game's going to constantly change these certain areas of the map. Especially when Create Your Own Park comes in and some of the community themselves can build skate parks that other people can enjoy. That will be really, really cool. Because playing games with your friends is great, and skateboarding with your friends is also great. So it's like a beautiful combination. What could go wrong? But on the flip side of that, it feels like they've used this always online aspect of the game to kind of just lack in content. Like, we don't have to make as much stuff because people will just be having fun with friends. It's the reason I don't really enjoy friend slop games, because at the end of the day, a lot of these games, for the most part, are just boring, repetitive games. That the only reason you're having fun is because you're playing with your friends, and that's making up the content. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to play it alone, it sucks. And it's the same with Skate here. There's nothing really to do. That's why you play with your friends, because then you and your friends make a fun experience. And it gives EA the chance to kind of lack in making things because they know that you're just going to jump in with your friends and have a good time regardless. It covers up the lack of depth to the game. And a lot of the creators I watch have been making videos and they're talking about how like it's really cool they can do like meetups in the game and hang out with the community. And I'm like, that's really, really cool. I don't have 20 to 30 random people that want to skate with me at any point. I don't have that. I'm just a guy playing skate. No one wants to fucking skate with me. I just don't get why every other aspect of what made skate had to die just so we could play online. Could we not have both? Could you not just made a skate game and then it also had an online aspect to it so we could play with friends? I don't understand. Why can't we have both? I think the main thing that I've realised, and we've all realised throughout this whole process of Skate being in early access and playtesting and the whole run up to the game and it coming out, is that EA doesn't give the faintest shit about you or the community. They've gone out of their way to avoid answering specific questions the community have asked. They've PR bullshitted their way out of any form of backlash or any issues we've had, and they've continued to ignore what we've asked for since day one. Because the thing is, unless it affects EA's nut, they're not going to care. As long as this game makes a certain amount of money, they do not give a shit. They're more than happy to sit there and dangle that carrot in front of you like, yeah, we're working on the art style, we're going to change it. Content, it's coming, don't you worry, just keep buying shit. Because they've got idiots like me who love Skate and will keep playing this, even though I know it's probably never going to get any better. And while we all return to Skate to play it, they're also aiming the marketing at the newer generation of people that just want to do sick stunts off of buildings and have really colourful games and buy a fucking pair of slippers out of the shop because, I don't know, it's funny, I guess. I think all us fans of Skate are just happy to have a Skate game to play, that we're kind of looking past a lot of these issues. And we're just kind of hoping that, oh, it'll get better. Yeah, I'll just keep playing it. It doesn't really matter. It's going to get better. But I don't think it will. I'm really not trying to come across as like a hater or someone that just can't enjoy anything. I don't like making negative videos. And I've been asking myself over and over, like, why do I care? Like, what does it actually matter? Like, you know, at the end of the day, it is a fucking skateboarding game. Like, why do I really care? And I think the reason I care is because it's Skate. You know, that's why I care. I had countless hours on Skate growing up, and Skate meant a lot to me at the time. Skateboarding was a hobby and a culture that I got into at a young age where a lot of my friends didn't, and a lot of people around me didn't give a shit. And Skate was like this gateway where a lot of people that I knew that didn't give a shit about skateboarding got involved and had a lot of fun, and they got to see the thing that I was passionate about through this game, and it brought so many new people into skateboarding. And it helped introduce me to new styles of skateboarding, new skaters that I could go and look at and look up to. And here we have a new game with the name Skate written on it, but it's bland, it's sterile, and it's lifeless. For a game that's all about the end of this ruling mega corporation, I can't get over how corporate the game feels. It's so focus group and void of any personality. And like, looking back at those Skate games, I'm not saying these games were perfect and they were like 10 out of 10 games, but they had personality. They were a distinct thing. They knew what they were and they stuck to that. I just want a Skate game that feels like it was made by people. Is that so difficult? But you know, I'm gonna keep playing this game because it's fun and I'm an idiot who goes along with things. And as much as I've been negative, I am hoping that they turn this around. As much as I hate everything about EA and I want them to fail so bad, I want a good Skate game and I want this to be the best Skate game it can be. I want to be proved wrong. But if I'm honest, I don't think I am. But the thing that hurts the most, I guess, and this is what's really upset me, and this is why I'm so annoyed and I had to make this video, is because at some point this game, however long in the future, is going to stop making money. And what does EA do at that point? Well, they'll pull the plug and they'll turn off the servers. And this franchise of Skate that we all love and we all care so much about is going to be locked away, and it'll be looked at by EA as a financial risk. And to EA, it's going to be our fault because we wouldn't have helped fund it enough. EA's not going to look at the shortcomings on their end and be like, well, where did we fail and where could we go next time? No, it'll be us, the consumers, because we didn't pay enough money. We killed the franchise. Skate will die because of us. And that upsets me. That makes me sad. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that in any occasion, I'll be ready for the funeral. Fucking great. What a song. From the first soundtrack. Also, the new EA game soundtracks suck. I don't know how you fuck up a soundtrack so bad. The soundtrack sucks ass. What the f? Anyway, guys, continue. Go out there. Use your skater eyes. Have a shred-tastic time. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. yeah, thank you very much for sticking around and watching the video. It means a lot. It means a lot for all the new people that keep joining the channel, new viewers, all that kind of stuff. It means a lot it genuinely means a lot to me that you stick around and you watch the stuff I put out, and it's really cool. YouTube's kind of cold, and I don't ever really get to just talk back and forth. The comment sections are kind of a mess. I never see replies and all that kind of stuff. But I thought, I used to do this thing where I'd read some comments at the end of a video and like give like a one-to-one. It feels like I'm actually getting to communicate to some people that watch this channel, and I don't get to do that enough. So I wanted to bring that back and just kind of reply to a couple of comments. No, I read all the comments. I don't respond to them all, but I do read them all. They make my day. They mean a lot to me, the comments you guys leave. So I'll respond to some just now. Again, thank you. So the first comment comes from Brandy Beach. Thanks, Brandy. It says, just stop playing survival games then. Who cares? No one wants to hear you whining and crying and complaining about it. Go fuck yourself, Brandy. How about that? How's that sound? Fuck you, Brandy. Stupid fucking idiot. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.